All right, so now what we would like to do is have scoring in our game. We want the score to go up when we win, and we want the player 2 score to go up when they win. And so what I'm going to do now is add scoring, and I can do that with this info namespace. So I'll say info dot player 1 dot set score 0, and then info dot player 2 dot set score 0, and you'll see that automatically adds these scores to the screen. This is the player, and then here's the score over here. So we can set our scores when scoring occurs, right? So what I need to do now is figure out if scoring occurs. And the way we're going to figure that out is essentially we're going to see if the X position of the ball is lower than the, I guess, the paddle. So if it passes the paddle over here, then that means that it's beyond saving, essentially. So if the center of the ball reaches the left boundary of this, I think that's a good enough assessment. But we could also do the right side of the ball. But let's just do the center of the ball. I think that's fine. Or we could do, well, let's actually make it so when the ball collides with the wall, well, the problem is we have bounce on wall true. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. I think what I'll do is I'll say if the center of the ball is less than like 10 or whatever, which is our initial buffer here, then that means that it's too far over to recover and they get a point. So we're going to say check for score. So we'll create a function for that. So we'll say function check for score, and we're going to check the ball position. If ball.x, ballsprite.x is less than 10, then that means that player 2 has scored. So we'll say player info.player2 dot change score by, and we'll say 1. And let's see if this works when it hits the wall here. So if I let it hit the wall, that didn't, oh, because I need to actually call my function. So we need to call this function as well on game update. We're going to see a problem here, but that's okay. Maybe not. Why is it not incrementing? Ball sprite.x is less than 10. Oh, it is incrementing. I'm looking at the wrong side. You see it's incrementing by a lot though, because as it's in that range, it's incrementing. So that's not what we want. We need the ball to reset position in this case. So I'm going to create another, well, yeah, we can just do it here. So we'll say ball sprite dot set position 0, 0. And then we are going to reinitialize the values here. So we have this set initial velocity thing here, and I'm just going to set this here. And then I actually do want to put this inside of my function. So I'm going to take this out and put it inside my set initial velocity function, because otherwise I have to call it again here. So we're going to set the position. I think we can put this inside of here as well, because whenever we initialize it, it's going to be placed in the center. So I can set the position of the ball to 0, 0, and I can set the velocity all here. Whoops, not 0, 0, center of the screen. So we're going to set it to screen.width divided by 2 and screen.height divided by 2. There we go. So now you see it places it back in the center whenever they score. I don't like it's a little bit too fast, right? I want to move it slightly over. So what if I were to, instead of doing it 10, let's do it, let's go back to our scoring, is less than ball sprite dot width divided by 2. And we'll say less than or equal to, because I think when it collides with the wall, it's going to be exactly there. There we go. See, so now, actually now it's only able to hit once, interestingly, because as soon as it hits, it's going to reset the position back. So as soon as we get that hit now, it's just going to set it back. However, one thing that I would like to add here is a pause, because I don't want it to, I wanted to delay. Wait, where was it? Sorry, I have to look up this. This was not something I was planning to add right now. Pause until true? No, not that. There it is. Okay, pause blank milliseconds. All right. There. Okay, it's literally just pause. Okay, so I wanted to kind of pause after each score because I don't want it to just instantly start. So let's say pause 100. Let's do like 200 milliseconds. How about a half a second? Let's do half a second. I think that'll look a little bit better. Interesting though. I'm wondering why it's pausing before it sets the other stuff. Because it should be setting the position first of the ball sprite before it pauses, but it doesn't seem to be. It's okay, but I think it has to do with how stuff is processed probably asynchronously, which means that it hits this pause before it can set the position. So I don't even know if it might work if I put it in here instead. Let's do this. Nope, it's still not resetting at the right spot. That's okay. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just we want a little bit of a delay in between the two. So let's just set it here. Let's set it to 1,000 so we get a full second in between. That way you kind of get a chance to reset. Should it reset the paddle positions too? Paddle positions are probably okay. Maybe not. Let's reset the paddle positions inside of here too. So I'm going to take these two things and also put them inside of my set initial vel. And that way this is just kind of handling everything. And I might change this to restart instead of set initial vel. So we're going to call this restart, and we'll put this here as restart as well. And that's just going to be slightly better naming convention. And that way when I lose, it resets us back to the center and gives us a little break, and then we can reset and go again. All right, so what I need to do now is repeat this process for the other way around. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to put this as an if. We don't want this to be an else because most of the time there's no score occurring. So say greater than or equal to ball sprite width divided by 2. And then we're going to say player 1 change score by 1, and then the same restart and pause. And let's see if I can actually score on this guy. I broke something. Oh, I didn't do this logic correctly. It's not ball sprite.width divided by 2 anymore. It is screen.width minus ball sprite.width divided by 2. Otherwise, it's just an instant score. Okay, come on, we can win. We can win. We got this. There we go. We got a point. Okay. Now they get a point, and we get a point. Cool. So in the next one, I think I'm going to be creating a directional thing based on where the ball hits on the paddle. That's going to kind of change the VY angle a little bit.